relaxed, man.
You're relaxed.
I'm glad. We've gotten it out of the way, so we can just.
So you've moved on.
Oh, I've moved on, cry.
I like that. I haven't moved on because I'm thinking about Monday, what I'll be doing. I'm thinking about the system. I'm thinking about the people we're sending. Where are they? What will they do? Will the phone lines work? Will the text messages come through? Will we get the results on time? All of those things. But I'm sure. Look, sometimes you do your best and leave the rest to God.
That is it.
That's what we have to do.
You've done the hard part.
As for me, I'm looking forward to life post-election.
I've
told everybody that after 10th December, don't expect any proper thing from me because my mind is shut down.
Yeah.
So you taking a holiday
up to 10.
By 10th. From 10th,
you are guessing that 8, 9,
yeah, by
10th.
10th, yeah, from 10th, I'm on holiday.
All the way to 10th.
No, I'm just on. But
what if there's a second round?
Oh.
Charlie, the guy changing face. Second round they vote 29 or something.
28.
We'll beg.
That's
Auntie
after
Jean.
Christmas.
We'll beg Auntie Jean and tell her that, you know what? You just.
No. If it's second round, we shall go. If it's third round, we shall go.
Well, that's it.
That's it. That's our democracy, isn't it?
You want to get it over and done with?
Yes, we do. We do. All right, Nathan, look at this on the front page of Ghanaian Times. Gum is getting good placement too.
No, it's not good. It's boom.
It's boom, rather. Oh, GUM.
Yes, it will hit you like boom.
Okay. Well, the front page of the Ghanaian Times has Election 2020, we are for peace. NPP, NDC, and others declare ahead of December 7 polls. And the reason I'm mentioning GUM or boom, which is Reverend Christian Andrews, is because pictured on the front page, President Akufo-Addo, former President Mahama, and right next to them, Reverend Christian Andrews. Charlie, they didn't put Green Street or anybody. Richard Jogbenuko. They put GUM.
You sit down there.
I think he's also number 3 on the ballot, isn't he? So this is 1, 2, 3, right?
Come on.
Okay. Be fair and professional in discharge of your duties. The Peace Council to security agencies, and President inaugurates multi-fruit processing company in Kumasi. Also, put interest of nation above all in electing presidents and MPs on December 7th. This is coming from the NDC.
Okay, the Daily Graphic says final push. Parties in frantic move for votes. Graphic commiserates with Rawlings's family. Rawlings's family is here. Apostrophe S.
Okay, we hear.
S apostrophe S.
Oh no.
Good. We are satisfied with special voting political parties, and NBSSI disburses 1.83 million cedis to Odona fire victims.
Okay.
All right. The Informer, Security Services exit polls favors Akufo-Addo. Sami Jemfi's reckless threats to security services destroys Mahama's chances. As next week elections approach, NDC lies prostrate before God and declares 3 days of prayer and fasting. An allegation of fraudulent land sale. Chief denies claim and threatens court action.
The Daily Guide says NDC runs with fake tape. Empty bullets fired. Baku. Don't use kits for campaigns. CRI. Diasporans show MPP love. Mahama lied about me. Prof. Adai. And bauxite not for one man. Nana.
The New Crusading Guide, let it be safe, Akufo-Addo tells Ghanaians. Ghana is a middle-income country. Work towards sustaining that status, Tekpa charges government. And Akufo-Addo cares more about keeping his promises, says our First Lady.
Okay, the Daily Statesman says Jones Oforiatta passes on. That's sad. Upper East Chief predicts massive win for Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo leading Ghana to glory. NPP urges Ghanaians to reject NDC vile propaganda, and Ghana's bauxite will benefit all, President assures.
The Chronicle, Akufo-Addo bribe video is in NDC hands is fake, says the NPP. Parents of triplets with hole in hearts appeal for help. Wow. Dear Ghana, I beseech you to vote for my husband. And this is from First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo. And vote for Nana to secure your children's future, Herbert Krapa tells Oti residents.
Okay, the Herald says Akufo-Addo promotes 2,745 police officers 1 month ahead of time, leaves suspicion and speculation of vote buying. Totobi Kwachi wades into assault on soldier by NPP militia, unconvinced about president's expression of regret. John Mahama storms Hohoi to undo Ameu's network. ends campaign in Greater Accra on Saturday, and Catholic priest document nails AG's witness in Opuni trial.
All right, Business Finder, bauxite will benefit all, President Akufo-Addo assures Ghanaians. Bank of Ghana lauds banks over COVID-19 response measures, and Ghana Commercial Bank denies unauthorized transfer of 52.5 billion Ghana cedis.
And the BNFT's front page says Ghana must fight to keep middle income status. That's according to Seth Tekbe. Speaking as a World Bank rep, he said that as World Bank rep signals economy may lose it. Odona fire victims receive financial support from MBSSI. Local rice targets 70% of market as MOFA pushes for private sector partnership to build storage. Plus, SEC pushes miners to tap into stock exchanges patient capital.
Let's go online. CitiNewsroom.com. Cordio Lord's December 7 holiday for election 2020. Also, NDC challenges Nanado to speak on alleged bribery video. Meanwhile, government says Mahamad's fabricated bribery claims against Nanado are disappointing. Other stories. Economy under Nanado West in Fourth Republic. This is according to Mahama. And MPP says will sue media houses televising Akufo-Addo's alleged bribery tape. Still on CitiNewsroom.com. NDC was never against free SHS. This is Bill Gabra. Totobi Kwachi raises concern over attack on military officer by national security. And CPP promises to revise share nut prices if voted for. CitiBusinessNews.com. Fuel prices to go up between 3 to 5%. IES predicts. Telcom Chamber advocates for digitization of payment of tax. And new cocoa pension scheme will attract youth into sector, according to Concerned Farmers Association. MyJoyOnline.com. ASEPA drags Akufo-Addo to trial for allegedly collecting 40k bribe. All political parties agreed to proposal to make election day a public holiday according to EC, and National Cathedral to be completed in 3 years according to Reverend Kusi Boateng. Meanwhile, SAC PPA boss drags Shrash to court and disregard December 23 funeral date for Rawlings Agotui family. This matter. Let's go to Star News. Akufo-Addo has declared December 7 a public holiday. Also, at Daklo, residents resist attempts or movement of ballot boxes to hold. Meanwhile, NDC MPP others back EC to make election day a holiday. And 54 officers and 44 inmates contracted COVID-19, according to the prison's PRO. That's not good. If you go to GNA, PPP to pass affirmative action law in first 100 days. Also, show us your credibility. NDC to President Akufo-Addo. And National Election Security Task Force deploys over 60,000 personnel. So, what are the details of these stories?
Wow. Okay, and let's talk about the elections, of course, the biggest thing. The Daily Graphic says the parties are in a frantic move for votes in the final push. Now, it says with 4 days to election day, the political parties are making the final push to drum up support for their candidates. Their strategies have been to reach out to difficult and swing areas and also energize their supporters in their strongholds to go out massively and cast their votes on Monday. The combined strength of the party's presidential candidates, their running mates, national officers, and every other person who matters has been deployed in key battlefields of the country. The 2020 general election will be the country's 8th consecutive poll since returning to democracy nearly 30 years ago, and citizens will elect a president and 275 members of parliament.
All right, we're still talking about elections. The parties are agreeing on many things. They agree that December 7th should be a holiday, and they also agree to maintain peace. So ahead of next week's general elections, political actors in the country have pledged their unflinching commitment to ensuring peace before, during, and after the polls. This is in the center spread of the Ghanaian Times. There was a peace declaration made at a national prayer and thanksgiving service for election 2020, organized on the theme Seek Peace and Pursue It in Accra. The service was organized by the Christian Council of Ghana, Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, Ghana Catholic Bishops Conference, and the National Association of Charismatic and Christian Churches. So representatives from parties were there. To represent the NPP, the Deputy Greater Accra Regional Minister, Elizabeth Saki, said that the president was an emblem of peace and the NPP is poised to ensure peace. Also representing the NDC, Mr. Sylvester Mensah was there to assure Ghanaians that the NDC is committed to peace. LPG, Mr. Kofi Akpalu also said he's a man of peace. And the vice presidential candidate of the PPP, Kofi Asamoah-Siang, also said that they pledge unconditional commitment to peace in elections and beyond.
Let's take you to the other story. Now, the NDC challenges Nanado to speak on alleged bribery video. This is on CitiNewsroom.com. Then there's a pushback from the MPP on the same video where they're saying that the video was fabricated to create disaffection. Let me read those quick stories for you. Now, the first one is by Delali Adogla Besa, says the National Democratic Congress has challenged President Akufo-Addo to speak on claims he received a $40,000 bribe at a press conference on Wednesday, December the 2nd, 2020, which is yesterday. Communication Director of the NDC, Kakrai Samoa, urged the media to press the president to respond to the allegations. Quote, the president must personally speak to it. I'm urging him. I'm demanding that. I want to hear his voice. He must come and absolve himself. This is the least I expect from you, the media, and I know you do your patriotic duty to call upon him to come and answer why he took a $40,000 bribe, Mr. Samoa said. At the same press conference, the Ketu South MP Fifi Kwete said this was the latest evidence of corruption under the Akufo-Addo administration. He remarked that there was a plague of hypocrisy presiding over Ghana because of lack of criticism from observers. Then the MPP did a press conference to respond to this. Now, Kojo Ponkroma is quoted here and he's saying Mohammed's fabricated bribery claims against Nana-Addo are disappointing. Now, the government wants Ghanaians to ignore claims by former President John Dramani Mahama alleging acts of bribery against the president, Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Government says it is shocked and disappointed that the presidential candidate of NDC had resorted to falsehood and fabrications in the build-up to the general election. Now, John Mahama had made reference to a supposed video of the president receiving $40,000 as bribe a few days to the 2020 polls. But a statement from the government signed by Information Minister Kojo Ponkroma says government of Ghana noted with much surprise a desperate attempt by the campaign of John Mahama to falsely accuse the president of bribery. According to government, the false accusation is premised on a doctored video of a 2016 campaign donation the then candidate Akufo-Addo received. Now, there are a couple of other interesting angles to this. So if you go to myjoyonline.com, actually before that, still on Citi News, MPP says they will sue media houses who broadcast the video because they say it's doctored, right? So Mustafa Hamid is quoted here in a story by Agnes Boache that the MPP has threatened to take legal action against media houses that have televised a secret video purporting that President Akufo-Addo was allegedly caught taking a $40,000 bribe. Now, the video, a supposed video of President Akufo-Addo receiving a $40,000 amount a few days to the 2020 election has gone viral on the internet. The government says it's unethical and unprofessional for traditional media houses to circulate the video as it defames the president. At a press conference in Accra, Deputy Campaign Manager for MPP Mustafa Hamid said the incident happened in 2016 when a party supporter donated funds to support the MPP's campaign. Here's a quote. It's all over social media. Yesterday, they even dared to show it on a television station. We are coming after that TV station. It's defamatory on the president of Ghana. It's unethical and unprofessional. You take old video of campaign donation and distort it, making it look like a recent video. Come on. Then there's a final one on My Joy Online where Adom FM has issued a statement of apology on the same video. So story says yesterday at 1st December 2020, Adom TV aired a video allegedly of the president receiving a bribe of $40,000, which was shown during airtime bought by the NDC. It has now come to the attention of the management of Adom TV that the contents of the video as aired do not represent the full story as it understands, which was in fact a video of the then candidate Akufo-Addo in October 2016 receiving a donation of 40,000 cedis for his campaign. Adom TV unreservedly apologizes for any harm or embarrassment the video may cause the president and admits the publication was in error. And the management adds a few other things. So we expect to hear a bit of this around discussions today.
Okay, let's go to page 19 of the Daily Graphic. And as the candidates are also pushing their campaigning, Henry Latte of the GCPP had a bit of an episode on his hands.
What happened to him?
He and his driver escaped unhurt when his Toyota Prado car veered off its lane and crashed into a Burkina Faso-bound truck at Kontonso. Kontoso, I think, or Kontoso, in the Upper East region early Wednesday morning. Dr. Latte was in the Upper East region to continue his presidential campaign on his vision of transforming the country into a food basket and an exporter of solar energy. Now, according to a quote, says the accident occurred early Wednesday when the car skidded off its lane.
Wow.
Around the clock campaign that has taken us through many parts of the country seems to have taken a toll on my driving.
Oh.
He might have been very tired, but he did not tell me. And along the way, he lost control of the car and
I'm seeing a lot of Burkina Faso trucks, and their type of trailers are long. In fact, there are some who have the trailers seems a bit bigger than the whatever it's sitting on. I've seen a few, and when you're overtaking them, you have to be very, very careful because they sort of they don't stay in their lane. So it's I don't know.
It is. Okay. Well, since he mentioned a road accident, Okada rider dies in road accident. A rider of a commercial motorcycle, popularly known as Okada, was yesterday crushed to death in a road accident on the Kwame Nkrumah overpass in Accra. This occurred when the motorcycle was crashed into a Zoom Lion street sweeper vehicle. There was immense traffic caused by that, obviously, but the deceased was moved from Nima, who is trying to move from Nima to Awudome. So you know that overpass there. Apparently he was speeding, and then he was blinded by dust that was brought up from the street sweeper vehicle. So he couldn't see the truck on time. He crashed into it. But it's interesting that they call it an Okada rider, because isn't Okada somebody transporting somebody? Or is Okada any motorcycle or any...
Okada is a motorcycle.
Any motorcycle.
That's how the Nigerians call it, and we've borrowed it.
We've borrowed it. Okay. Well,
now, there's a couple of stories. The holiday is now been announced. So December 7th is a holiday.
Yes.
Kodil and political parties agree, I'm told. So here's a couple of stories. Jonas Number reports Kodil lost December 7th holiday for election 2020. The coalition of domestic election observers has welcomed government's decision to declare Monday, December 7th a public holiday. Project leader at Kodil Roda Oseafo said the holiday will help citizens have the patience to queue and vote without being pressured to hurry back to their various workplaces. Now, if you go to Star News, MPP, NDC, others back EC to make election day a holiday. Story says all registered political parties, including the MPP and the NDC, have backed a proposal by the EC to declare December 7th as a statutory public holiday. A statement by the EC after an IPAC meeting on Wednesday said all political parties have today, during an inter-party advisory committee meeting, agreed with the Commission's proposal to the Chief of Staff and the Ghana Ministry of Interior to gazette Monday, 7 December as a statutory public holiday. So I don't know whether this should continue. It seems like a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Long may it continue.
Yes.
So that we have
so long.
Anyway, because Farmers Day is on 4th, but in election years they
move it to November.
So maybe Farmers Day will be voting day now. All right, let's come to other stories.
Yes, now this is an interesting one from Fansiman. EC schools visually impaired persons on voting. So, you never really think about how someone who's visually impaired might vote, right? Okay, so they had a sensitization workshop organized for visually impaired persons within the Fansiman municipality of the Central Region. This was done under the auspices of the Electoral Commission, meant to help visually impaired persons learn how they'll be able to vote independently on election day. So they have something called the tactile jacket. The tactile jacket is a simple device that enables visually impaired persons to independently cast their votes during elections without any interference or assistance. They don't intend to leave anyone out, so if you take the training seriously, you'll be able to cast your vote in secrecy. This is really good.
Okay, on page 2 of the Daily Statesman, it says the president has assured residents of Ninahin, and for that matter Ghanaians, that the country's bauxite deposits will be exploited for the benefit of all Ghanaians and will not be owned by just one person. Addressing residents of Ninahin in the Atrimam-Ponua constituency yesterday during the last day of his 3-day tour of the Ashanti region, the president stated that the Ghana Integrated Bauxite and Aluminium Development Authority would serve as the vehicle for the establishment of an integrated aluminium industry in Ghana.
Let me take you back to security issues. His story says Totobi Kwachi raises concern over attack on military officer by National Security Operative. Story is on citynewsroom.com. It says a former information minister under the Rawlings regime, Kofi Totobi Kwachi, has expressed worry over the assault of a military officer by a National Security Operative in Ashaman in the Greater Accra region. Mr. Totobi Kwachi, who had blasted government for failing to crack the whip on offenders of the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election violence, as recommended by the Commission of Inquiry, says the recent acts show the emboldening of national security to engage in acts of violence without recourse to the law. In a statement, Mr. Totobi Kwachi maintained that this development is likely to create anxiety among the voter population ahead of the December 2020 elections. Now, the background is that a national security officer at the Bureau of National Communication, Nana Osei, allegedly assaulted warrant officer Mashut Salia on Wednesday, November 25. He has since been interdicted following a statement released by the Office of the President. But Mr. Totobi Kwachi basically says that he gives a lot of background, but he says there's pervasive anxiety among Ghanaians as we closer to December 7. This anxiety is fueled by recent assault on a military officer by members of the same group whose lawless actions have in the past gone unpunished. Then he ends by saying the ultimate test of the sincerity of the president in expressing of regret over the assault of the soldier will be in the conduct of these so-called national security operatives come Monday, December 7. And thereafter, God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Okay, talking about the NDC, John Mahama, who's their candidate, will today be in Hohoi in the Volta region to, according to the Herald, to scatter Energy Minister John Peter Meu's network ahead of Monday's election.
I'm really worried.
Mr. Amewu is mentioned to have gained some grounds in the Hohoi area.
So Mahama is going to ungain it.
I'm coming, and this is making many supporters of the opposition NDC very uncomfortable. And President Mahama is believed to be heading there to untie those knots.
Now, Amewu's name pops up. Yesterday, I interviewed Maximus on a Facebook model, and apparently, Mr. Amewu's name is very popular in not only the Volta region, even Ashanti region. His name is there. Now, there's a story here that's a bit concerning. My journal online, disregard December 23 funeral date for Rawlings, according to the Agbotui family. Now, this story says the family of the former President George John Rawlings has dismissed reports of the funeral date of the country's longest-serving head of state. The head of funeral planning committee, James Togbeho, said the family, in consultation with government, have agreed on December 23 for the funeral rites of the former president. However, in a press release signed by the secretary of Agbotui family on Wednesday, said the press release on Monday confirming the death of Rawlings' funeral should be disregarded. Napoleon Kwame Agbotui said that the said consultation with the family never took place. We wish to inform the general public that no such consultation has taken place, and as such, the former press release confirming the death of J.J. Rawlings' funeral should be disregarded. They then published the letter, which is signed by one Napoleon Kwame Agbotui, described as secretary, and the letterhead says Office of the Agbotui and Allied Families, P.O. Box SK 804, Sakumono Estates Community 13 in Tema. So keep an eye on this one. We'll see how that pans out. Thank you, Kukui. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Benedict.
Coming up next is the Citi Business News. Stay with us.
Charlie, check this.